You can use the new Smart Learning Suite if you want to create lessons to teach to students either in person or remotely. But you can also use the Smart Learning Suite to create files that students can access and go through on their own independently. And those can be shared through Google Classroom. So let's take a look at what those files would look like. When I'm here in my Google Drive, I can go ahead and create a new file. I've got a folder here where I keep all these things, but I can go New, come up down to the list, More, and then down the list, depending on how many things you've got here, you should find the Smart Learning Suite. I'm going to click that to launch the suite. Now when this page opens, I'll be able to create a new activity or access one that I'd already been working on. So I'm going to go ahead and say Add Activities right here. And I'll start with the title page. That's going to load up, and then I'm going to have the option to continue adding more things to this lesson as I go. So I'm going to click right here, and I can go ahead and, well, I don't want to delete that actually. I'm going to say cancel there. I'm just going to click into that space with a double click and call this one the review activity. For that one, I will delete it. I don't need a subtitle here. Delete. Done. Down here in the lower left, I have this blue button with a plus on it that I can click, and I get those same options coming up again. I'm going to go ahead and make a game for these kids right now. And I have a number of ones that I can choose from: fill in the blanks, or flip cards, or revealing labels. Game shows are a good one to work with. So let's go ahead and create something for maybe ranking the order that things happen. Maybe I've been talking about the different seasons and the things that happen throughout the year. If my year starts in January, of course, then we're going to begin with a winter. That's going to move into the spring, followed, of course, by summer, and then eventually autumn. Nice little red line. Anytime there's spelling issues, I can right-click on that. And that's Chrome, not Smart, giving me the option to right-click and go ahead and create, or go ahead and fix the spelling on that. Now, if I'd wanted to, I could have done images here maybe, and ranked the size of things, or the importance of things, or colors of things, whatever it is I want to do. And I will, in this case, allow them to check their answers instantly. I'll say Next. And I can choose a cool theme to go in the background of this. So I can keep things real plain with the simple one, or depending on what it is that I'm actually doing, I can go ahead and pick one of the ones that maybe suits what I'm doing. Keeps it a little bit fun. So I'll go ahead and choose the garden in this case and finish. So that right there, I can preview to see what it's going to look like for the kids and even try it myself to make sure I created it properly. But let's see, even before I do that, let's go ahead and test. Winter, spring, autumn. Oh no, look at that, spit it right out, because it's giving me that immediate feedback if I botch it. So then summer, followed by autumn. There we go. So that's what the kids will experience when they go through that, and they'll move on to the next slide. So let's create one. Go with another game for right now. Maybe for this one, I'm going to go ahead and give them a quiz with the speed up. So I'm going to give them some true-false questions they can answer pretty quickly. I'm going to say things like, is the rain wet? And of course that's true. I'm going to add another question. And let's see. The desert, I guess I need statements if it's true, false. The desert is dry. So I can go ahead and go back to this previous question. Instead of asking, is the rain wet, I will simply say, rain is wet. True or false? And I can add another one. Finally, I can say things like, fish swim and birds fly. Both eat worms. There we go. True statement. And it's already checked off here. If this was a false statement, I'd make sure to check that so that the system knows what the correct answer is. So I'm going to leave it at true right now and go next. And that creates a 3-question slide that the kids can go through, and I get to decide how many seconds they get for working on that. So 10 seconds per question. Finish. So not too stressful for them. Let's add one more. Hit the plus, and instead of one of the game-based activities, maybe I'm going to slide down here and see what other options I might have. I could go with something like questioning and reflections. Let's see, what do I have here? There are some shout-out activities. That's something I would do live with kids because we're all throwing answers in at the same time. Let's see, some response type activities I could use, or maybe some of these handout options I could use instead if I wanted to go ahead and throw in a summarize what you've learned. If we had just finished a lesson on something, I could click on that and I get a preview. And it's simply saying summarize what you learned. The student's going to have to type something on here. So I can close that. And if I wanted to, I can come right back to that first slide, and I have the ability down here to record some audio. So that's a great option when I'm going to be having the kids do this on their own rather than me teaching them. This way, I can go ahead, click this, and let them know, hey, this is a simple review activity that I want you to go along with and answer the questions and then submit to me when you're done. So I'd be able to add that to this slide, and they can click the little play button that appears, and they'll be able to listen to me giving them instructions about what to do here on this given slide. Now if I'm talking about the entire thing, that's fine, but I'm allowed to do one audio clip per slide, and they are limited to 5 minutes of you speaking. I'm going to go up here and call this review activity. And it does save as you're doing things, much like Google Drive does, so that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and say Finish Editing. And right now, it is sitting here. It was created today. And I have a couple ways I could go ahead and send this to the kids. If I was emailing or I was using Seesaw or something like that, then I would simply click the 3 dots, choose Share Link, and I get an option to make a copy of this for other teachers if I'm sharing it with a colleague. But down here is what I want for the students. I would simply click Copy. And I could then paste that into emails or Seesaw or something else like that. If instead, as I suggested, I'm going to do this through Google Classroom, I can close that. I know that it is sitting here in this Smart Learning folder for me. In fact, it's sitting there right now called Review Activity, so it's saved automatically in the drive, which means I'm going to go ahead and launch Classroom from my little dots in the corner here, jump into a classroom that I'm a teacher in at the moment, come up to my classwork, and I'm going to be able to post this like I would an assignment. So I'm going to hit Create Assignment, and I'm going to call it again Review Activity. Open and complete the games. There we go. And I'm going to add this file like I would any other file that I'm grabbing from Drive. So I'm going to just click the little paperclip here and go to Google Drive. It should pop up under Recent since I just created it. Beautiful. I could also go to My Drive and start browsing for it that way, but since I saw it there anyway, I'm going to go Recent, Activity, and then just insert the file. And here's where it changes quite a bit. I definitely do not need to make copies for each student. Smart Learning Suite will allow multiple kids to all open the same file at the same time and complete the activities independent of each other without making extra copies of the file. All of the different versions of the student work, they are all saved within that one single file. So in this case, kids can view the file as all I need to give them in order to make this work. I can give it a due date if I want to. I could give it a topic, and if I don't have any already, I could call it Review. And I'm going to go ahead and assign that to my kids. So that time I'm going to be able to create that review activity for students to complete using the Smart Learning Suite built-in games and activities and options that I can create from there.